Today, I'm going to talk about 3 steps to identifying your ideal client and how important that is. To me, the number one secret to writing good copy that actually converts to clients is writing with client-focused copy. And what I mean by that is you can be a great copywriter, you can have loads of great content. You've probably been there before and written great stuff and maybe getting some likes and follows, but you're not getting the conversion you want. I've definitely been there, and you guys, writing is my thing. So when I wasn't getting the response that I expected, I was like, crap, do I not know my stuff here? But the reality is I wasn't niched down far enough. And I needed to hone in on my one ideal client and really get to know that person very well. The ultimate goal is you want to solve a problem for your ideal client. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to succeed. I want to be clear on what your ideal client is. It can also be called your ideal client avatar, your persona. It's called a couple different things. It's all the same thing. Ultimately, it is that one person you're speaking to with your messaging and your copy. This could be written copy, but it could also be your spoken videos, your audio trainings, anything like that is composed of words. The importance of knowing your ideal client is so that you can speak her language and use that client-focused copy. So what is it that you need to know about your ideal client exactly? Well, people can get overwhelmed with this, but I'm going to help you go through it with simple steps. It does take some work up front, but trust me, it is so worth it. You'll be so relieved and have so much clarity afterwards. You'll be able to find your lane and stay in it, speak depths of information into the heart of your ideal client rather than spitting out random things and hoping they help. You do want to know the demographics, the age, gender, income level, or at least an idea of the disposable income for your ideal client. You want to know her psychographics, her behavior patterns and her buying patterns. What traits does she have? Is she more of an introvert or an extrovert? Does she research in greater depths, or does she buy more impulsively? You also want to know about her family. Is she single? Is she married? Does she have kids? Does she work? Or does she work at home? Or is she a stay-at-home mom? Is she retired? What does she do in her leisure? All of these things, her likes, her dislikes. But there are 2 things that you really need to know to help solve the problem, and that is her biggest struggle, sometimes plural, biggest struggles, and where does she hang out online. So if you know her biggest struggles, then you're going to be able to align your program with those struggles, right? And if her biggest struggles are not related to your program, then she's not your ideal client, and don't beat your head against the wall trying to get her to buy you. Where she hangs out online is critical because you're trying to find her online to promote yourself in front of other clones of her, so to speak, right? So if you've got a person with thyroid disease that hangs out in a thyroid Facebook group and listens to this particular podcast about thyroid issues, those are places that you want to be also. Sharing your expertise, commenting on the comments, and sharing what you know. These are gold mines for you because this is exactly where you can find more clients. Okay, so what are these 3 steps to get the information about your ideal client? Step number 1 is to tap into your network. First, if you have a base of clients already, that's the best place to start. If you don't have clients yet, you can think about the people that you know in general. In my opinion, God's got this group of people in your circle of friends and contacts for a reason. So are there some of those that would potentially use your services that you can talk to? And a third way to look at this is if you think your past self a couple steps ago is your ideal client. I heard this in a Chase Tuning podcast. I think it was Dustin Lean he was interviewing. If you're not sure where to start with your ideal client, just use yourself 2 steps back. And if you had a health issue that you're overcoming, this could be a great place to start, right? Because the beauty of that is you don't have to promise somebody that you're getting them to the end all goal, right? You can promise a certain amount of progress. Your A to Z can be a part of their grand journey. And it takes a load of weight off your shoulders that you don't have to know all the answers. The second thing about that is because it's somebody 2 steps behind you, all of that experience is so fresh in your mind that you can really speak to those experiences and feelings and things that that person is going through. It's not a distant memory, it's a very real, recent memory. So tap into your network is step 1. Identify people that you can speak with or ask some questions. Number 2 is ask open-ended questions. Instead of giving them multiple choice, if you are presenting it as a survey, that's an option, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. But the more open-ended you can be, then the better your answers are going to be. You're not putting words into their mouth like you would on a multiple choice question. You're asking them to give you their words exactly. So they might interchange the use of anxiety and stress, which I know and you know isn't medically right, but that's important to know how they word it, right? All of these things that they say, that the information that they give you back is your gold. This is what you need to hold on to and reuse in the copy that you produce. I've seen health coaches say that they're posting all over, getting likes and follows, but not clients. So I'm using that because that resonates with you. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to turn those words back around and use it and show your ideal clients that you understand what they're going through. Now, this is assuming it all aligns with what you offer. I'm not saying to fake it at all. That's not going to work. But if you're using their language, there's a couple things happening. You are resonating and getting their attention. You're also showing that you understand the journey that she's on, and she needs to know that you understand that. And the other thing is you're taking the focus off of yourself and what all you can do and provide and all of that. This is why it's so important to use the client focus copy. There are some different ways you can ask the questions. I really think the best thing to do is to get on the phone or a Zoom call with somebody and ask them for 15 minutes of their time. Ask them these questions and let them know outright that it's for research only. You're not going to tail spin into a sales pitch at the end. You will honor and respect that. And ask them the questions. If you want to, offer them a free 15 minutes follow-up, giving them a few tips based on where they are with their information or with their journey. You may create a survey in Google Forms or SurveyMonkey and present it that way. And that's how I got some of my responses. You might have better luck if you're already warmed up in a Facebook group and being active in a group. You're definitely going to have more response versus not being very active in a Facebook group and trying to put a link to a survey and get responses. And the other thing you can do is look in Facebook groups that are pertinent to what you're researching and look in the past posts, searching those posts for biggest challenge or podcasts, things like that, to see where they hang out online, what are their biggest challenges. You can keep a spreadsheet in Google Sheets if you want, or use Evernote to take notes. I love that app. It's very basic and I'm not using it to its full capacity, but it's pretty handy. And you can direct message people in Instagram or Facebook and say, hey, would you mind if I ask you a few questions for research? You look like you might be a perfect ideal client. Promise no sales pitch, strictly for research. And wherever you seem to be more active and already warmed up, I would start there. And if you don't have that place, then definitely Identify some people that you can talk to on the phone. That will ease you into the conversation. It will genuinely, naturally get you more excited about this. I have a lot of people who are apprehensive about being live and just being present out there. And this will help break that ice a little bit when you're getting on the face-to-face or phone calls with people. And it's just a more natural conversation. So tap your network, step 1. 2 is ask the open-ended questions. And 3 is track your responses, you guys, because you're getting the gold. You're getting the gold nuggets that you want to use in your copy. So you need to keep it stored somewhere so you can have it handy at your fingertips whenever you need it. And again, I use Evernote for this. You can put it in your CRM. If you use SurveyMonkey or Google Forms, it stores it for you, and it's pretty handy. It can assess the surveys that you get. A thing I want to mention is you don't have to interview or survey 20 people. It can be 10 or 5 even. If you get 5 responses and 3 of them have similar things, then you're getting a consensus, right? You're getting some guidance and direction. We don't have to make it harder than it is, but we definitely need to put some work up front to get the goal that we want, to really understand our ideal client and help her along the journey she's on and speak to her very specifically along the steps of that journey. Do not skimp on this step, I am asking you, because I've done it and it just doesn't work. It won't work for you. It'll cause a lot of frustration and headache as you try to put copy together and you think it's speaking to your ideal client when it's really not speaking at all. I don't want you to waste your time doing that. If you have questions about any of this, then put your questions in the thread and I will respond. Have a wonderful rest of your day.